You've got a great life. You've got a beautiful family. You're so much in love. Move on. Get a life. Move on. And they just can't seem to, because their living is by telling their truth on the royal family. That's how they make their living.
Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Yeah,
you were the prince of a goddamn
true.
Country who dressed up as a Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
They are under the impression they have big thoughts. Big thoughts. Like Meghan and Harry, I've listened to both of them talk. Garden variety retards. And nobody is a realer housewife than Meghan Markle, who married this ginger retard and took him out of his racist family so that they could live in Beverly Hills or wherever the fuck they live.
Harry and Meghan say they'd now like to split their time between spending your money in the UK and spending your money in Canada.
Sharon Osbourne just dropped a bomb on Meghan Markle's image, and she didn't hold anything back. She blasted Meghan for allegedly turning every bit of private family drama into full-blown entertainment, cashing in on royal pain like it was a brand deal. Sharon didn't stop there.
The curtsy, the thing she said about medieval times, her lunch with the Queen was like medieval times, which, as you know, is a Disney-type entertainment place for kids. And it's just so horribly disrespectful and just a wine fest.
She went straight for the jugular, calling Meghan out for what she saw as pure disrespect toward the late Queen herself. That statement alone sent shockwaves through fans, with people split between outrage and full agreement. But get this, it didn't stop with Sharon. Meghan and Harry have apparently managed to irritate Bill Maher too, and his reaction was nothing short of brutal. What he said on air left the entire studio gasping, and trust me, it's one of those clips you need to see to believe.
You know, they were given far too much importance because what do they do?
Sharon's takedown wasn't a random outburst. It was strategic, layered, and coldly delivered like she'd been waiting for this moment for years. She didn't just throw shade, she lit the entire narrative on fire. And it all started with one question, one that the mainstream media has been too scared to even whisper out loud. The way she framed it made everyone in the room freeze, because for the first time, someone dared to challenge Meghan's whole story head on. Because let's be real, Sharon Osbourne just asked the question that everyone's been dying to scream out loud. What do Meghan and Harry actually do? Seriously, besides turning family secrets into streaming content, what's their real contribution? It's a simple question, but the moment Sharon said it, the silence in the room said it all. That one line exposed what so many have been too polite to admit, that behind all the glamour, there's nothing truly being created. No innovation, no art, no real work, just endless talk about royal drama and personal pain. And then Joe Coy, standing on stage at the Golden Globes, hit them with the punchline of the year. In front of Hollywood's biggest names, real creators, real producers, he dropped a joke so sharp it sliced through the air like a knife.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
Everyone knew exactly who he was talking about, and the crowd's reaction? Brutal. Netflix handed the Sussexes a mind-blowing $100 million deal. And what did the world get in return? One shallow documentary dropped in December 2022, then nothing but radio silence. It's like they cashed the check, took a victory lap, and vanished. And if that wasn't enough, Kelly Osbourne jumped in too. And she didn't hold back either. She went even deeper, calling out their personal hypocrisy and failure to deliver anything meaningful after all that hype.
You've been handed the world and every major contract, you had podcasts, you have all of this, and you didn't deliver because
there's nothing to deliver.
Yeah, because you don't have it. And that's okay. And I think they do have a right to privacy, but that doesn't seem to me what they're looking for.
Her words hit harder than any headline because they came from someone who's seen fame, lived through controversy, and still isn't afraid to call it exactly how she sees it. Kelly Osbourne didn't sugarcoat a single word. Her take was ice-cold and brutally honest. She's seen this whole pattern play out up close, and she called it exactly how it is. Remember that huge Spotify deal they snagged in 2020? By 2023, it was gone, canceled, done, erased. After they produced almost nothing, millions poured in. And for what? A handful of interviews and excuses dressed up as content. Kelly's point cut deep. They don't have the grind, the consistency, or the creativity to survive in this world of real creators. Yet somehow they keep landing million-dollar deals like it's nothing. But Sharon took it even further. She didn't just question their work ethic, she ripped into how Meghan and Harry present themselves in public.
Cuddly, lovey, holding hands, going everywhere together. It's so disingenuous. It's like, come on.
The endless hand-holding, the over-the-top touching, those dramatic kisses during appearances. It all felt more like a performance than a relationship. Compared to William and Kate, who stay professional and composed, Meghan and Harry's every move screams, "Look how in love we are." It's like they're trying to sell their romance the way influencers sell skincare. And just when you thought it couldn't get sharper, Nikki Glaser stepped into the conversation, and her theory was wild. According to Nikki, Meghan didn't just stumble into fame, she chased it. She wanted fame, and Harry gave her exactly that, Nikki said. Overnight, Meghan went from actress to global headline, becoming one of the most famous women alive, and then turned around and complained about the very spotlight she fought to have.
She wants to be famous. She found the guy to make her the most famous in the world, and now she's over there and she's like, oh, this isn't what I thought
What's the point of being famous in a castle every day?
The irony had everyone shaking their heads, wondering if the fame she chased ended up consuming her instead. Nikki Glaser didn't hold back when she tore through Meghan's story, calling out what she saw as straight-up contradictions. Meghan's claim that she didn't know what she was getting into when she joined the royal family, Nikki said that doesn't hold up for a second. Because when you look at Meghan's history, the acting gigs, the lifestyle blog, the social media hustle, it's clear she always had her eyes on fame. According to Nikki, if Harry hadn't worked out, Meghan would have ended up on some reality dating show chasing the next available bachelor with a camera crew.
If she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season, fighting for Prince. She would be Megan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She just got lucky.
Brutal, but a lot of people agreed. Nikki's take hit especially hard because it painted a picture of ambition over affection. She wasn't necessarily in love with Harry. She was in love with what he represented: power, prestige, and the ultimate ticket to global fame. That's what made Sharon Osbourne's next move even heavier. After years of watching celebrities rise and crash, Sharon saw a dangerous pattern forming. She said Meghan's story reminded her of the same self-destructive cycles she's seen ruin so many stars. The isolation from family, the addiction to controversy, the constant need for attention just to stay relevant. Sharon's tone turned dark when she warned that these patterns never end well.
It's going to end very, very badly, and I don't know why. It's like history repeating itself.
She's seen it too many times to believe otherwise. And when Sharon says a downfall is coming, people listen. Sharon's next observation cut like a blade, and it went way deeper than anyone expected. She zeroed in on Prince Harry himself, exposing how he turned his own pain into profit. She pointed out that Harry didn't just share his story, he sold it, taking raw family drama and private moments and packaging them into entertainment for the world to consume. His memoir, Spare, wasn't about healing or reflection. It was about monetizing every grievance, every argument, every royal secret.
It's all just craziness going around and around, and he's turned his life and the royal family's life into a soap opera.
Sharon called it what it was, a soap opera for cash, a glossy version of pain meant to keep the spotlight burning bright. But she didn't stop there. Sharon said what many have whispered for months: the couple seems completely lost. Spotify's Archetypes podcast deal? Canceled after producing next to nothing. Their Netflix projects? Big splash at first, then nothing but silence. Meghan's American Riviera Orchard? Delays, confusion, and more excuses than results. Sharon framed it perfectly.
I think they're totally lost. You know, one minute they're making a cartoon, then they're doing a documentary on them, now they're saving the world. They just haven't found their path in life yet.
They're throwing everything at the wall because nothing's sticking. Even British satire shows have started mocking the absurd contradictions. One puppet show roasted them mercilessly for preaching privacy while living next door to Oprah in Montecito, one of the most photographed neighborhoods in America. Sharon summed it up with one piercing line: "That's not seeking solitude, that's seeking the right kind of attention." And that line hit like a thunderclap. Because once you strip away the glam, the interviews, and the brand deals, what's really left? A couple desperate to stay relevant in a game that's already moving on without them.
In California, we're just a regular couple living close to Oprah and far from the paparazzi. But not too far.
The satire didn't just mock Harry, it exposed him. It painted the picture perfectly. A man in his 40s still acting like a rebellious teen, bragging about escaping Granny's rules, while completely missing the point that those same rules once gave his life purpose and structure. The puppet version of Harry looked lost, celebrating freedom without realizing he's just floating, directionless, clueless, and trapped in a cycle of trying to prove something to the world that no longer cares. And the wildest part? The show didn't even have to exaggerate. It mirrored what many already whisper.
The best thing is, no more following Granny's rules. Don't wear your pants on your head, Harry. Don't bath on the butler, Harry.
That Meghan's still calling every major shot, while Harry just nods along. It's like he swapped one authority for another, only this time it's wrapped in Hollywood glitter instead of royal protocol. Sharon Osbourne saw right through it, calling out that quiet submission that the cameras never show but everyone senses. Then she dropped her most heartbreaking observation yet. The kids! Sharon said the children are being dragged into this endless feud, used as emotional leverage in their parents' ongoing war with the royal family. That line sent chills because it wasn't gossip, it was concern.
If I want to play polo in my living room, who's gonna stop me?
Stop that!
Right away, Meg.
Sharon's seen fame twist families before, and she recognized the danger instantly. But even with all her savage truth bombs, Sharon's honesty was nothing compared to what came next. Bill Maher's breakdown of Meghan and Harry didn't just criticize them, it shattered them. What he said summed up exactly why so many find them impossible to root for. But before that, Sharon's next comments hit closer to home than anyone expected, especially given everything her own family went through. Sharon didn't mince her words when she pointed out the glaring hypocrisy. Meghan and Harry only ever tell one side of the story.
You just think about her children. They have no family. They have their grandmother, Meghan's mum. That's it. There's no cousins, no aunts and uncles, no other grandparents. There's 2 little babies that have grown up that will never meet or know their cousins because they're not growing up with them.
Every public move they've made, from the Oprah interview to the Netflix documentary to Harry's explosive memoir, has been about presenting their version of events as the absolute truth, with no one allowed to challenge it. Sharon said it perfectly. That's not truth-telling. That's storytelling. It's a carefully scripted narrative meant to make them look like the wounded heroes while the royal family stays silent, bound by dignity and protocol. She reminded everyone that every family faces problems, but normal people don't turn those problems into Netflix episodes and book chapters for profit. There's a huge difference between sharing pain and weaponizing private family chaos for attention. Sharon's voice turned personal as she opened up about her own past.
I haven't from day one been into the fact of, talking about private things that went on in the royal family when they were a part of it. And the thing is, it's just their point of view. We haven't had the other point of view.
And the room went silent. She revealed that her own father had caused her serious harm through shady business dealings, costing her massive sums of money. Yet despite all of that, she still forgave him. She even went back to care for him when he fell ill with Alzheimer's, proving that forgiveness can exist even in betrayal. Sharon's story hit hard because it shattered the excuses Meghan's used for years. If Sharon could forgive real financial exploitation from her own parent, then what's Meghan's reason for cutting off her dad over a few staged photos? That comparison was brutal, raw, and impossible to ignore. And it exposed a level of emotional coldness that left viewers stunned.
Don't bring it to the public. Nobody wants to know about it. Every family has problems. Keep it to yourself.
Sharon's story already hit hard, but what came next turned the conversation into pure heartbreak. Because while Sharon forgave her father despite real financial betrayal, Meghan Markle has kept her own dad, Thomas Markle, completely cut off. Overstaged photos. Let that sink in. He didn't steal from her, didn't hurt her, didn't destroy her life. He posed for a few pictures under pressure from the media, and for that, she's erased him entirely. Even after his heart attack, she stayed silent. Not a text, not a visit, not a single call. The contrast was devastating.
Should she go to her father? Yes, she should. I didn't talk to my father for 18 years. He used me in his companies and all of that.
Sharon's compassion made Meghan's reaction look ice cold. But hearing directly from Thomas himself made it 10 times worse. Sitting down in an emotional interview, he described the unbearable pain of being shut out by his daughter, not for a crime, not for betrayal, but for a mistake born out of panic. As he put it, even convicted murderers get visits from their families, yet he's been sentenced to permanent exile from his own child's life. That line broke people's hearts across the world. The most gut-wrenching part? Thomas was lying in a hospital bed, recovering from a heart attack just 2 days before Meghan's wedding.
Millions and millions I had to pay because my father got me in the crap. But the situation is, when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I went to him and took care of him because he's my father.
And that was the last time they ever spoke. Since then, she's married, built a global brand, had 2 children, and never once checked to see if her father even survived. Through it all, Thomas still says he loves her, even though it's painfully clear that love isn't being returned. It's a level of coldness that's left fans stunned and questioning how fame could replace something as simple and as human as family love. Thomas Markle is now 77 years old, and the thought that he might never meet his grandchildren is absolutely heartbreaking. He's admitted that he started doing the math, realizing that Meghan's grudge could very well outlast his lifetime.
There are axe murderers in prison. Their family comes to see them, right? I mean, I'm not an axe murderer. I made one dumb mistake, and I'm never being forgiven for it.
Archie and Lilibet have no idea their grandfather even exists, and that silence cuts deeper than any public scandal ever could. But even after all that pain, Thomas still managed to speak with surprising calm and grace. Instead of anger or revenge, he offered advice, and not the petty kind. He told Harry to stop attacking the royal family and focus on being a real father to his kids. That kind of wisdom from a man who's been completely exiled was shocking. The irony is almost painful. The man Meghan cast out is the one preaching unity and forgiveness while she's built an empire off division and resentment. It's a twist that left the entire internet stunned.
Do you still love your daughter?
Of course I do. I love my children. I love my other daughter. I love my son. Of course I love them.
Do you think she still loves you?
Like I said, I haven't spoken to her since I was laying in a hospital bed 2 days before they got married.
But the emotional blows didn't stop there. Thomas Markle Jr., Meghan's half-brother, came forward with an even darker perspective, claiming the children are being weaponized. He said the grandkids are being used as tools to punish family members and manipulate the narrative. According to him, their father has already accepted that he'll probably never meet them, a reality that's breaking what's left of his heart. Thomas Jr. also exposed a painful shift that happened years ago. He said he watched Meghan slowly start talking down to their father, treating him like he was beneath her.
Do you worry that you might never meet these two grandchildren?
July 18th, I'll be 77 years old. Most of the Markle men don't make it much past 80. So there's a good chance I might never see my grandchildren.
That change in attitude, he claims, wasn't about the paparazzi scandal at all. It was about power. Once Meghan's fame skyrocketed, she stopped seeing her family as family and started seeing them as liabilities. And after hearing all of this, from Sharon's relentless truth bombs to her family's raw heartbreak, Bill Maher came in with the final blow. His takedown wasn't just funny or critical, it was a full-blown dismantling of Meghan and Harry's entire post-royal identity, exposing every contradiction they've tried to hide behind. Bill Maher didn't just criticize Meghan and Harry, he obliterated their entire public image with cold, undeniable logic. He called out the contradiction that defines everything about them. You can't claim to be private victims, craving peace, while simultaneously turning your trauma into a global entertainment brand. Writing Spare, filled with intimate royal secrets, and then crying about privacy?
Do you have any advice for Harry?
Yeah, stop talking about the royals. Stop giving away all the secrets about the royals. And love your children and love your wife. But also love your grandmother and love your father.
And your father-in-law.
Maher said that's the textbook definition of wanting it both ways. Every interview, every documentary, every new confession chips away at their own credibility. Because how can you demand silence while selling your story for millions? Maher connected their hypocrisy to a bigger problem. The modern obsession with validation. He said they're part of a generation that can't breathe without public sympathy, constantly needing applause for their pain. And when he compared them to Queen Elizabeth, the room went dead silent.
Now they're using the kids as pawns. They've been using the kids for pawns for years. My father has already given up. And it says, I'm never going to meet those kids. King Charles is never going to meet those children, ever.
The Queen faced 70 years of pressure, scandals, and criticism, yet never once sat down to complain on TV. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry can't seem to go 6 months without another emotional tell-all. The contrast was brutal and completely devastating. Maher pointed out the absurdity of two millionaires living in California mansions, lecturing the world about how hard life has been for them. He called it ridiculous and completely out of touch, and millions agreed instantly. He refused to play into their narrative, saying it's not enough that they tell their truth. They want everyone to worship it, and if you question it, you're labeled hateful or racist. Maher refused to bow down, and that defiance hit a nerve across the globe. What unfolded wasn't just criticism, it was a full-scale demolition from every angle.
My dad specifically said one day that the way that she talked to my father, he knew it was over. He didn't know his daughter anymore because she talked down to him like he was nothing.
Sharon Osbourne exposed their performative relationship and crumbling ventures, while Meghan's own family revealed the pain she left behind. And then Maher came in, finishing what everyone else started, with a takedown so sharp it left their entire post-royal brand shaking. Bill Maher didn't just roast Meghan and Harry, he diagnosed them.
They want it both ways. You know, you can't be, these people were so mean to us and poor us, and we don't want all this attention, and then let me write a book about how much we don't want attention.
He exposed the disturbing pattern that's turned them into living symbols of generational fragility. Every step they take follows the same cycle. Isolate from family, burn bridges, fail to deliver, then cry victim when the world stops clapping. It's not bad luck, it's a repeated formula of self-destruction wrapped in entitlement. Maher said people aren't cruel for being tired of their sob stories. They're just done with the constant contradictions. They've managed to alienate both sides of their family, disappoint powerful business partners, and drain what little public sympathy they had left.
They just strike me as creatures of that generation. You know, you're just fragile. Just take a hint from the Queen, the recently departed.
Never complain, never explain, and rarely be heard speaking in public.
But the most heartbreaking part of this whole saga is still Thomas Markle. At 77, he might leave this world never having met his grandchildren, all because Meghan can't forgive one harmless mistake that cost her nothing. And when you compare that to Sharon Osbourne, who forgave her father despite losing millions because of him, the difference is staggering. Maher's final point tied everything together. Meghan and Harry's need for endless validation isn't just frustrating, it's exhausting to witness. They don't just want to be heard, they want to be worshipped. And that demand for constant reassurance has turned them from victims into villains in their own story.
You're complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird.
It's ridiculous. I totally agree.
At this point, it's not even about living their truth anymore. It's about enforcing it. Meghan and Harry don't just want to share their story, they want everyone to agree with it. No questions asked. Disagree, and suddenly you're labeled hateful or toxic. That kind of control isn't empowerment, it's manipulation. And that's exactly why even people who once defended them are starting to step away. The sympathy is drying up, and the silence around them is getting louder every day. Sharon Osbourne warned that stories like theirs rarely end well, and the more you look at it, the more her prediction feels chillingly accurate.
And I will not bend the knee and just go along with the nonsense. That's what's so annoying about them. The most of all, they insist that you go along with their nonsense and their insanity and their fragility.
When your own family goes public, when your critics start sounding like prophets, maybe it's not everyone else who's the problem. Maybe the downfall is already happening. One interview, one brand flop, one burned bridge at a time. So what do you think? Can Meghan ever make peace with her father before time runs out? Or has she destroyed every chance at reconciliation? Drop your thoughts below. I read them all. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next royal scandal we uncover. See you in the next one.